Hello and welcome to Reflections on Day 35. How to talk about Day 35. My awarenesses of Day 35. I don't know where to start really. So today, the verse of the day today, the chapter has been about our relationship with pleasure. And so I have a real strong sense about what that means and how it exists for me. But maybe at times I have struggled to articulate it and bring that idea to life. Pleasure tends to be one of those things that very often we look for, and very often it's something that we experience in a sensory way, in a very visceral way, in an impactful way. We experience it very physically in the world. And we get that little shot of dopamine and suddenly we're in an okay place. And so it very often becomes a conditional thing that if this and this happens, it's great. If we go for a walk on the beach, if we go for a pint with our friends. And of course, it now is locked into a time and a place or an activity or an experience. And when it's gone, there potentially is some kind of residual legacy, but we need another one and another one. And so we can end up being locked into a relationship with needing something in order to be able to acquire something, to have something, to be able to repeat the experience, to be able to feel pleasure, to be able to feel happy. And so it goes on. Whereas the Tao is encouraging us, in order to be able to engage in true meaningful pleasure, that overwhelming sense of steadfastness, that real sense of long-term happiness, just that overwhelming sense of well-being, it's to be able to look beyond the experience. It's to be able to look beyond and connect with actually that sense of well-being and that happiness. So although we may have a fabulous meal with friends, it's to be able to notice the elements of silence. It's to be able to notice the relationships, the sense of connection. It's to feel in awe of the majesty of the amazing food. It's to be able to create and connect with that greater sense of well-being, because that's the thing that's sustainable, because that's the thing that can nourish us, and that's the thing that can lift our whole sense of being. Whereas if we get locked into an interactive place where if I have a fabulous experience, I allow myself to feel happy, when the experience is over, I need to have another one of those experiences. And as I then need to be able to lift my spirits again, I have another one of those things. And that could become financially dependent, that could be resource dependent. And at times, if the behaviours around having that positive experience aren't really that healthy, then actually I can create a dependency for myself in the attempt to make me happy that ultimately makes me very unhappy, as people do around food and alcohol and drugs and spending and all those things, because we become attached to a conceptual idea and we become attached to a relationship with certain things. Whereas if we look beyond those things, and actually I heard a fabulous phrase this evening. Very often if we stand and look and be grateful and look for the gratitude and to look in awe. And actually, very often, the use of the word awe, to be amazed, to have a powerful connection where I stand full of gratitude and respect for something I see. So when we see a magnificent painting or a beautiful view or the size of a wave, very often we are in complete awe of those things. And the interesting thing is that very often, if you think about awe and it being a really powerful emotion for us, then the idea of being full of it, somehow that word's got misconstrued in the English language, to be full of awe, to be awful. As opposed to when we think about the use of that word practically, actually, maybe we're all less or disgusted by something. Anyway, that's just something to ponder on. But to connect with a really, really deep sense of gratitude around all of the experiences that we have can do nothing other than leave us in a place and a space where we accrue and connect with a really long-term sense of inner happiness and inner well-being, because we look for, engage with, and just find the beauty in all the things around us. Now, that may sound a little bit false to some people, and that may sound a little bit hard work, but maybe just give it a try for a day. Deliberately set out to be able to find the beautiful things. What is beautiful in your life? What is there to be grateful for? And to really push yourself to find the microcosm of all of those things. Sometimes we end up only noticing the powerful things or getting excited about things by exception. So instead of actually recognising that we can be really grateful for those people in our life, it's when those people now do something different that we go, and that was amazing, as opposed to recognising actually we've got some really amazing people in our life every day. I am blessed and incredibly lucky that I have some amazing people in my life, and I don't always recognise just how amazing they are each day. So for all those people that watch this that are in my life, because there's quite a few people, and whether you're in my life for 5 minutes each day, or whether you're in my life for 5 minutes each week, or whether you're in my life for hours every day, or maybe whether I'm in yours, then I am truly grateful, and I stand in awe. Today I have been running a course, and actually I have sat and stood in total and utter awe at times at just how powerful and vulnerable people can be when they choose to engage in their own personal growth, their own personal development, and their own personal change for the first time. That is just a cool thing. I stand in awe. It gives me a deep sense of well-being and faith in humanity and the human spirit. And that is something that is significantly more powerful than any short-term pleasure-based experience. I think, because I can see what's going on in the background and also the reflection of the video, is that I am about to stand in awe again and just generally be truly grateful, because I think there's a cup of tea coming my way. So I'm going to challenge you for the next 24 hours is just to be truly grateful for as many things in your life, and just notice how that deep sense of gratitude creates a real sense of well-being, which creates a sense of pleasure that is just magnificent and is beyond any necessarily short-term experience. Our challenge always is daring to do it, is completely daring to do it without just simply going, not for me. We'll do it, give it a go, and see what happens, and to be in gratitude and to be in awe of all the amazing things in the world around you. I dare you. See you tomorrow.